Good day, good people. I thought I'd use some of my time and expertise to help some of you who might be struggling with Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Classroom, because now that we're all in this distance learning digital life, it's becoming the tool that a lot of people are using to give work to their students and to share work with coworkers. What we're running into, though, is maybe you're not so familiar with Microsoft Word, or maybe you're on a team and everybody needs to have the document, but everybody needs to have their own version that they can give to their students. Or maybe everybody needs a document that they share, and so we can't have everybody editing it because it'll mess it up. This is what I want you to see. So I've got this document that I've made, career research. This is in Microsoft Word. So what I could do is just drag it and put it over here in my Google Drive, and I want to put it in that folder. I could put it just in the main drive when the whole thing turned blue, but I don't want to do that because then it's harder to find. I don't want that. I want it to go to a specific folder. So I'm going to click off of this to make sure that, there we go. All right, putting it in the folder right there. And I'm going to go into that folder now. As it starts its upload process, it might take a moment. Or not at all, so I'm in the folder, I might as well drop it in here. It's fun that we have to do online stuff and the internet is spotty. So it's uploaded. Yay, look, it's ready to go. Here's the thing though, that W means it's Microsoft Word, that little icon, .docx, and it's not here because I changed one setting. I go to my settings, change there, convert uploaded files to Google Docs editor format. We want to convert uploads. If I turn that off, and then I upload it again, now it's going to upload as a Microsoft Word file. So that Microsoft Word file with the .docx, that means when somebody clicks it to open it, this is what they see. They can't edit, you can't click in it to edit. So you have to go an extra step, open with Google Docs. So now, if this is a document that I wanted my students to have, or I wanted my team to have, they either have to download their own copy into Microsoft Word, type in it, and then upload it again, or open with Google Docs, and then it opens it up, but it's still saving as a docx. So I'm going to delete this one just so you can see what the example is. So step one is I have to open it in Google Docs, but now I need to save it as Google Docs, and it'll open up another window. So now this is something that is editable, because if I edit this .docx, it's just like I'm editing this Microsoft Word file, which if somebody downloads it, that's the master. But now that I've made a Google Doc version, now I have two versions of it. Now I have two copies. I have a Google Docs version and I have the Microsoft Word version. So if I edit in this one, for instance, let me change the font. That's something easy to notice. Let's see, maybe we refresh, maybe it'll make the changes show up. Let's see what happens. And just so you know, I feel qualified to do this. I've been using Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Drive for 10 years or more, for quite a while, before my district ever started using the G Suite. So look, now if somebody downloads it, it has been changed in this docx file. You might see why this could be a problem. If I make changes that I want to do just for my class, like I might put turn in to Mr. Banky. Well, I'm the only Mr. Banky, and I've now edited this file that when we refresh it, everybody's going to end up seeing the same thing. So that means if you share it with your students, they're going to see turn into Mr. Banky, just like you'll see it turn into Mr. Banky, which it isn't loading now, of course. So I wanted to demonstrate all that, show all that, because it's a hassle. It's an unnecessary hassle, because the next step after that, this is still something that we're all sharing. It's getting passed around or whatever, because now what I have to do is make a copy. Let's say that this is a shared drive. This folder is shared with coworkers or it's shared with students. Everything that happens in here, everybody will get to see. But I don't want that. Maybe I just want this document to be just for my students. Well, I have to go and make a copy now. which is going to make a copy, and it can leave it in that folder, but this is a shared folder. I don't want it to be shared. So I have to go on that little thing back to my drive. I'm going to select my drive, and I'm going to select a completely different folder and save it in that folder. Let's say I want to save it in there. I select this one. Now it'll save it in a folder just for me, and when I hit OK, it'll make a copy of it. Kind of complicated, right? I'm not going to go through it because that's a lot more hassle than I even care to deal with, even in a help video, because it's not necessary. It's totally unnecessary. We got to make sure we have this setting, convert uploaded files, easy, done. But maybe you don't have a Microsoft Word document. Maybe you want to make one, and whether this is a shared folder or not, here's how you can share it. You just click share, and then you share it with whoever. Type an email, you share it with your team, your PLC, whoever. Maybe you need to make one. Well, right there, new Google Doc. It's going to open up a new window. Open up it. I sounded like a kindergartner. It's going to open up a new window, and you can do what you want to do. Oops. So now I have this document, and this has all the features you could possibly need, unless you're going to put like word art in there with fancy glowing text, which is unnecessary anyway. But that's not something you need to share with people. Just make the document, do the fonts. It has font colors, it has whatever you need. And there it is right there. It just automatically updates in this folder. So that's good. Don't need it though. So let's say I've got this document now that I've made that I want to share with my students somehow. Well, that's where Google Classroom comes in. Let me delete this. In Google Classroom, you can make free, if you have a Gmail account, you can make a free Google Classroom that you can share with people. So some of you are taking the homeschooling thing seriously and you're getting your kids, giving them documents, do it. That's great. The more structure and schedule they have, the better. They might not like it, and they might actually be pushing back. You're not my teacher. Well, now you know how teachers feel when we get treated like we're not their parent, because we're not, and you're not their teacher, but now we're all doing all the things. So this is one of my classes. In Google Classroom, you have the stream that has the most recent thing that I posted is right there down to the earliest thing that I posted. The nice thing about this is in the classwork tab, and if you take grades, there's a grades tab, there's a people tab. I'm going to not show my student names. There's the grades if you want to keep track of grades. The nice thing in here, though, is you can make topics. So I have all of the work that we did throughout the year up through the 5th 6 weeks, which has been interrupted now by COVID. And so I made this new distance learning topic where all the work that they need to worry about from now till we come back to school is in here. As I post it, it ends up in a kind of a jumbled order depending on when I post it. Nice thing is you can just drag them, click and drag. I can move them around, and I can put the stuff that I want them to see first at the top, then the first assignment that they need to work on, then the second, then the third, all and so on, all the way down till the very end of the grading period. So I want to share a document with them. I have something new that I want to share with them. So I'm going to show you how to, oops. I don't need this sample. I'm going to create. I've got a couple of options though. I can create an assignment, which looks like this, where you'll see how many people turned it in, how many people it's still assigned to. They can make comments on it. This little bubble means that people have made comments on this assignment, these assignments. So these are assignments. This is just a material where they don't actually have to do anything. They don't have to acknowledge it. They don't have to complete questions or anything. This is just I'm sharing material with them. I could give a quiz, and I could build a quiz right here in Google Classroom. I could just ask a general question that people respond to. I could reuse a post maybe from last semester or last year, or I can create a new topic. I want to make an assignment though. They're going to be working on this assignment. I'm going to move this over so you can see this rest of this. So the nice thing is you can assign it just to one class, or you can assign it to multiple classes at once. So these are all the same course. They're all my independent study mentorship course. So that way I can just make one assignment. If it would type. And it'll post for all 5 classes. But let's say it's a class that is only one section, or maybe I want to do it by grouping. Well, if I do it this way, I can schedule when it posts. If it's just for one class, I can schedule it on this little button to assign. If I do it for more than one class, though, I lose the ability to schedule. So keep that in mind. If you want to schedule things, you have to do it one class at a time. Otherwise, if you do it for a bunch of classes, if I was going to submit it to all of them, I could save it as a draft and just wait until the day that I want it to go up, at which point I come back in and edit the assignment, which when I close it, it saves it automatically, close it, and now it's saved as a draft. So when I click on it, I can go back in and edit in a week, and that's when I can assign it on the day that I actually want it to go live. The other option you have is if you have students working in groups, and so maybe you split the work up into groups of 3 or 4 or something, you can, I'm not going to click this because I don't want you to see my students' names, but you can just select the specific students that you want to have this document so that when they're editing it, only those 3 or 4 students have access to edit. You can change the points, you can put the due date, you can put the topic, which I would do distance learning. So here's what we're going to add. I'm going to add a Google Drive file, or I could add a link, or I could add a file. Like if I was going to give them this, I could upload the file using that. But I don't want to do that because remember, we've already made our new document over here on this window where we had the document that we uploaded. So I'm going to add from Google Drive just as an example. Recent files are right there, shared drives, my drive, or I can upload to Microsoft Word, but that presents problems. So I'm just going to upload this or attach this one. Now, students can just view it for now. That means they can't edit, they can't mess it up, which is fine because this is my master copy. I don't want them to be able to edit it. If I did it like this, then they have to download their own copy or make their own copy in Google Docs. Or I can make it to where they edit the file. I don't really want that. If this is my copy in the master version, I don't want them to edit it because then I have to go back and undo all the changes that they did, which I can show in a moment how to do. So what I'm going to instead do is make a copy for each student. When I make a copy for each student, now everybody is going to get a copy of this Google Docs in there, or everybody in my class is going to get a copy in their own drive. That's that. That way nobody's editing it. The reason I'm doing this also is if you had it to where students can edit the file, and this is something that is not your document or not just my document, but it's one that we're sharing with 5 or 6 people as a team, students can now edit the document that's affecting everybody on your team. It's way better to have your own copy that you've made. Not hard to make a copy, and then upload your own copy, attach it to the assignment, and make it to where each student has a copy. That way we skip a whole lot of problems. So I mentioned that I would show you how to undo when people make changes, and I'm going to do that real quick. If for some reason you have a file that you uploaded and you didn't upload it right and other people made edits to it, and so now you have a document that looks nothing, maybe somebody accidentally deletes the whole thing, well, it's now saved, and anybody that had access to this document now sees nothing. What do? We come up here to all changes saved in Drive, or where it says last edited by or last saved. Just click on it. Current version, this is the changes that were made. It shows it was all deleted, and it shows who deleted it. When you hover over it, it shows my name, so you can see who it was that was messing around. So I want my document back. Or maybe people made changes upon changes upon changes, and you just need to figure out which one was the right one. Well, you just can click your way through the previous versions. So this is the version that I got uploaded at 2:35. This is the version that I came up with, made some changes to it, opened it up a little bit ago, made one more change. I want to restore this one. I don't want it all deleted. I want this version. I'm just going to click restore this version. Restoring it. And there it is, right back the way I wanted it. So you can take it back all the way to the beginning when you first created or uploaded the document. So keep that in mind if somebody messes up, or, I mean, people make mistakes. I say messes up just in the sense that if somebody makes changes that you didn't want, you might consider it messed up. So hopefully that's helpful. I'm happy to answer questions or guide you through. I can teach you some Zoom. If you use the Zoom app, I can show you stuff over Zoom. That would be fun. Let me know how I can help otherwise.